Good morning, everybody. Crafting Journey here, that Journey Chick on Instagram. How is everybody? Did you have a great weekend? Oh my God, I did. I really did. I don't want to get teary-eyed, but I got to watch my grandson graduate from high school. Um, but it's a funny story because I've had this head cold, and the graduation is in this outdoor football stadium. Well, I guess there's indoor football stadiums, but it's in a football stadium. And it is drizzling rain the entire time. So now I'm getting cold. I'm starting to shiver. I've got, people are putting it up umbrellas. We had umbrellas, so I put it, I didn't want other people not to be able to see, but I had to finally put it up in an umbrella. I was getting really wet. So it, and these graduation things, they tend to go on and on. Everybody's got to give a speech, and so I was very grateful when it was over. But watching my grandson walk across the stage and get his diploma, I was so proud of him, and I kept remembering, like, when he was just a little guy. I'll put a picture of him when he was just a little guy, and he loved watching, Finding Nemo. He would watch Finding Nemo over and over and over again. Like, I've never seen a kid watch something so many times. I showed him the picture of him sitting in front of the videotape player, and I said, "Guess what movie you were watching?" He's like, "Finding Nemo." He knew. And so after the graduation, we went back to my son's house, and he grilled steaks. I had said on Saturday, I haven't had a steak in so long, and maybe because we were going to go out for dinner. And I said, "Can we go get a steak?" And he says, like, "How about if I just grill steaks?" I'm like, "Well, that works for me." Oh, it was so delicious. Oh my God, it was so good. Um, Although my son, he takes it off the grill, and I look at it, I'm like, "Oh no, too raw. That's got to go back on the grill." Because I like my steak like medium well, and his was very, very medium. So he put mine back on the grill, but oh my God, it was so delicious. And it was just nice spending time with the family. We didn't have a big graduation party for him because my daughter's coming into town in a couple of weeks, and my son is retiring from the military, so it's going to be just like one huge big party for the graduation and my son's retirement, and so lots of things happening. But um, one thing I noticed about this graduation is very few, if any, people were wearing masks. I was not wearing a mask because I thought, well, it's outdoors and I've been vaccinated. But I'm going to tell you, there was at least 1,000 people there. There was 210 graduates. So you figure, all they each had 8 tickets. So there was a lot of people there, um, not wearing masks. And it felt a tad uncomfortable. Not while I was sitting there watching the graduation, but like walking out with the crowd, when we were all exiting, and it just felt weird because, we were all kind of bunched up together, because you go from this large bleacher section and to a narrow exit, so everybody is, I don't know, it just felt weird. So knock on wood, we're going to stay healthy. I don't know. We've been quarantining for so long now that, yeah, interesting, huh? It just felt uncomfortable. So, but it was really, I had a really nice visit with my grandson. He's excited. He's going into the military in September. I really do need the light pad on here, guys. So I have been up today since 4 o'clock. I don't know why. I really don't know why. I can't tell you. So I just decided I couldn't go back to sleep. So I did. Well, I I know why I woke up because I use CPAP at night and I was just not breathing well. Because I've got this like post nasal, it's still the head cold thing. So I figured, well, let me get up, take some medicine. So I got up, took some medicine. Then I'm like, well, I'm up. So I sat and did some office work, figuring, well, if I do it now, I can take a nap later. And then I wanted to finish watching day 3 of the trial. So yeah, I've been up for a while. I'll probably crash here soon. Yep. So let's do, what national day is it? This is National Scavenger Hunt Day. This this is the day each year where you participate in this fun game where it sends you off to find these random items. The one that I can think was really fun a few years ago, probably been a couple years now, during one of the diamond painting marathons. Jennifer Roberts did a scavenger hunt on during her live, and she had us go look for random craft items. And the first one, that, because it was just fun. We would like, there was no StreamYard back then, and so we just had to put in the chat that we found it. But it was a lot of fun. It was it was really fun. I love scavenger hunts, and you can do them with riddles and things like that. So how do we celebrate National Scavenger Hunt? Invent your own scavenger hunt. Participate in. There's several online scavenger hunts. Um, and there's some in the community as well. I mean, it's a fun way to do giveaways, is to send people to different videos to scavenge for certain items or phrases that you might have mentioned in other videos. Yeah, it's kind of cool. So, National Scavenger Hunt Day. Okay, let's do judge, jury, and journey. So, this is the last part of day 3. So day 4 starts today. So we'll be caught up after this. So today is Monday. We'll start fresh with day 4. So the rest of day 3 were the 2 criminalists. They finished up with the first woman. Oh, did I even talk about her? No, I did not talk about her. Okay, so did I? Don't remember. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me check my notes. Okay, so there was 2 criminalists. This is Mrs. Johnson. She's a crime scene investigator. So she gets called out to the scene the day that they do the canvas. They keep calling it the canvas. They're going to go out and canvas this guy's employer. And then they find out that he's got 2 vehicles. So they call this criminalist out, this crime scene investigator out, to go through and process both vehicles. It's at this point that we discover he's got a Nissan Altima and he's got the other car, the black car that's in question here. So she's asked to process both vehicles. So she starts the process, and then she realizes she doesn't really have the right equipment to process this on this scene. So she has the black car towed. I think she had both cars towed to the their their lab. She works for the Department of Criminal Investigation, so she has it towed to their processing area where they have special lighting and all the equipment that they need to process. So she finds in the trunk, and I will show you a picture of the trunk, a football, fishing pole, soccer ball. You can see all the stuff that's in this trunk. And she did test the football and the fishing pole, and they were presumptive positive for blood. So she sends those into the lab um, for DNA testing and blood testing. And then there's quite a bit of stains on the lining of this trunk. So they pull the lining out and have that sent to the lab as well. And then they do tape samples where they take tape and put it onto the carpet and pull it up. And the purpose of that is to see if there's any hair there. So that was sent to the lab as well. Then there was also a stain that was photographed on the rubber seal of the trunk that looked to be blood. So that's all sent off to the lab. So what she testified to was that everything that didn't test presumptive positive for blood was sent to the fingerprinting section. So later, after it was discovered, the body was discovered, she was called to the scene where the body was discovered, and to document that scene. She is accompanied by the medical examiner, and then they proceed to show, numerous photographs of the cornfield where this woman is found, Mollie's found. And what I found interesting was, and gratefully, they show the body, but she's covered with corn stalks, and all you can see is the sneakers. In one picture, you can see an arm, but that's it. And then once all of those photographs were taken of the body covered with the corn stalks, she testifies that they removed the corn stalks, and then they did other photographs, which they did not show us. Thank you. I believe the jury did see them, but they weren't shown publicly. So then this investigator decides she's going to canvass the area, and about 25 feet from the body, she finds like a pink piece of cloth, which she surmises to be a headband. She finds striped pink material, which they figure out are underwear. And they also find, there was one other thing. What was it? Black shorts. Yeah. So she processes all that and gets that to the lab as well. Now, she was asked on cross-examination about the hairs that were lifted in the trunk, and for some reason they were never tested, but she has no idea why they were never tested. She also searched the defendant's trailer where he lives. Several items were collected and submitted to the lab for analysis. So that is her testimony. Then we get the criminalist, Tara Scott, who she describes for the jury, what DNA testing is, because, she's testing all the items that Miss Johnson submitted for DNA. Now, she was first sent to the boyfriend's house to process that scene, and she said that it looked lived in, but she did not see any signs of a struggle. And by that, they, what she would look for is, furniture knocked over, um, blood stains maybe, or, things that might be overturned. She just didn't see anything like that. So there really wasn't anything to process there, but what they were really looking for was a positive, something that they could link to Mollie, so they could have a known sample of Mollie's DNA. So she went into the bedroom of the boyfriend's bedroom where Mollie was staying. She found a water bottle, and a couple of other items, and then she was able to get a profile from the DNA off the water bottle. And then what she did was she went to the relatives of Mollie and got their swabs and was able to ascertain that this was the DNA of Mollie, that she was related to these people. So now we have a known sample of Mollie's DNA, and then later on, after the body is found, they were able to link the known sample of Mollie's DNA to the body, so we have a positive identification of the body. So she tested several of the items that Miss Johnson submitted to the lab, including the underwear. She tested it for seminal fluid. It was negative, and she also tested it for blood, and it was positive for blood. She tested the black shorts, did not find any seminal fluid, and it was inconclusive for blood. And they really, the black shorts did not help them at all. So the pink band was not tested because she couldn't find any stains that she could test on the pink band. With respect to the trunk of the vehicle, she tested 9 areas of stains from the trunk, and was able to identify positively that Mollie Tibbitts' DNA was in that trunk liner. So there you have it, folks. And then the medical examiner sent over some swabs of her inner thighs, because I didn't mention it, but once they remove the corn stalks from her body, they don't show us the photographs, but she's describing to us what she sees, and she's saying like her thighs were, like one knee was bent up and the other one was spread. And so I don't know if she was sexually assaulted or not. I'm waiting to hear what the medical examiner has to say as to whether or not she was sexually assaulted. But so the medical examiner sends over swabs of her inner thighs for DNA testing, and she could not get any profile off the thighs. But what we know about DNA is that, when you're exposed to the elements, it tends to disintegrate. But yeah, couldn't find any DNA on those swabs. So we are all caught up. So we will see what day 4 brings today. I hope you're enjoying this trial. I certainly am. It's very intriguing. Let's get on to this day in history. Did I even look at that? I did. I just don't remember it. On May 24th, 1989, Lori Ann Ocker disappears from a parking lot. Now, this is an interesting criminal case because they suspected the husband, but they couldn't prove um, that he had killed her. Her body was found 2.5 weeks later. Her vehicle was found um, in the mall parking lot where she worked, but she didn't show up for work. So apparently she parked there, but she never got into to work. She worked at a place called the Pet Place in this mall. So they find the body 2.5 weeks later. She was stabbed to death. They find her. Still cannot link this to the husband. At the time, they were going through this very contentious divorce. And, but there was just no evidence. So finally, it dawned on the investigators that there was a bank near that. There's a bank ATM near that um, area where she was parked. So they go and they pull the footage off the ATM. Well, this footage is so worn out because what happens with surveillance footage is they just use the same. It recycles every. It depends on what they have set: 24 hours, 72 hours, 30 days. But the it does get worn out over time. So what was happening is they would get a clip and then they would, it would run for a second and then not for 3 seconds, and then they were just getting intermittent video off of this surveillance. But they were able to isolate one photo where they could see another vehicle next to hers, and it happened to be the vehicle that her husband drove. So interestingly enough, the vehicle was owned by her husband's father, who sold the vehicle the next day, the day after her disappearance. They tracked down the vehicle. It had gone through several owners. They finally found it. A state trooper had bought it. They tested it. They were able to find the DNA of this woman, which I don't find surprising because it seems to me that if this was her husband, she would have been in that vehicle. But I don't know, maybe not. They were going through a divorce. Maybe she never was in that vehicle, except for when she was abducted by her husband and killed. I don't know. But he was convicted of murder. Yeah. That was in 1989, and it took place in Northumberland County, Pennsylvania. Yeah. She was only 19 years old. And she was going through a divorce? What? You shouldn't even be married at 19 years old. Goodness gravy. Oh, guys, this has been a quick show today. What else do we have to talk about? Oh, so Saturday night, I was on a Zoom with Crystal. Has these Crystal's Crafty Creations. She has these once a month. She'll have like an all-night Zoom meeting, and I tried to stay awake, but the NyQuil kicked in and I fell sound asleep. But it's always fun, and it's always nice to see everybody and chit chat. So today in the comments, leave me a comment. Let me know if you've ever participated in a scavenger hunt. Tell me about it. And what did you do this weekend? Let me just say, I am obsessed with Animal Crossing. Oh my God. Yeah. I played a good bit of that this weekend as well. Yeah. Tonight, I am going to be in Crystal's Crafty Creations live. She does a planner Monday where we go through our planners, and I've got to get mine up to snuff because I've used it intermittently, and I do have some stuff to put in the planner, and I can decorate it. So I'm going to be on her show tonight. You'll see what I do with my planner intermittently. Yes. Um, so, guys, have a great Monday. Take care. Sorry it was such a short show today. I didn't. I thought day 3 would have a little bit more substance to it, but it really didn't. So let's see what day 4 brings. Maybe the medical examiner. Yeah. So, guys, have a great day. Love you all. Take care.